Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Cesar Saavedra, and here I'm back with another episode of This and That. So it's been a couple of weeks since we haven't been online. Just let me take care of this echo here. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Like I said, we're back with some more news. Thank you for your support, and we're gonna start in a few seconds here. So again, we got some content for you, and I'm sure that we're gonna just have a good episode today. So, just to get rid of some housekeeping uh, things out of the way, first of all, like you see on the ticker here, please subscribe. Please like the channel, share, comment. Right, this will all help us out with the with making the channel grow and making things make more sense and make things more easier. So it will help us out a great lot. So that is one of the things. Also, you see there on the top, there we go. The top right there, that you can also buy me a coffee, and like that, you can also help me out with the channel and with keeping the lights on, so to speak. So thank you very much. Right, a coffee is always good to have to wake up for this kind of episodes. So today we shouldn't be going too long. We got some information about what went on in the last couple of weeks. A lot has been going on, right? So we're gonna touch on that in a moment. So let's see here. So let's get rid of this here. Just a moment. There we go. All right. If my internet goes away, it should come back fairly fast. So no worries. Okay. So let's see here. All right. So let's bring this to the stage here. All right. So here we are with the content. So mainly, we're going to touch on what's been happening in the last couple of weeks. A really quick resume, but also what's happening now. The Jasper wildfires, right, in Alberta. Also, the Venezuelan elections that happened last Sundays. That was also something that happened, and that I think it's worth touching on because it's affecting the region, right? Also, there was a pronouncement from the government of Canada, and I think that it is a very delicate situation, and we hope that things will be for the better, although things are very contentious, as you will see in a moment. So let's start with that. Oh, okay, here you go. Here's again the QR code on the top right that you can use to help me out. Basically, it will send you to a page where you are able to buy me a coffee for $3, $3 Canadian, and that will help us out with the channel. So feel free to use that. It is much appreciated. And yeah, so you have that as well on the corner of the screen. All right, moving on. So in the last few weeks, of course, we've had some good weather here in Alberta, in Calgary, right? For the most part, and it's been pretty hot, as the cartoon says there. Western Canada weather update. Fried. Yes, you can fry an egg pretty much on the streets when it is going above 30 degrees. We've reached out 35 and sometimes, so that's also what's been going on, right? So wanted to share a little bit of that. Let's see. Also, now I've been having some issues with my slides here, so there's supposed to be a background to this text, but it didn't come up on the final save there. So I'll go over it with you anyway. So La Stampede that just finished a couple of weeks ago, that had a good show, right, from the city and elsewhere. So about 26% of attendees visited the grounds for the first time. So that's pretty good, right? As the city grows, and as we are rid of the pandemic now for the most part, right? We got the crowds coming up, coming into the Stampede again. Also, there was a record-breaking attendance, right, because of this. To 1,477,000 people, beating the previous record of 1,409,000 set in 2012 when it was the centennial, the 100 years of the Stampede as well. So, of the province as well, I believe. So that is what happened, a record-breaking attendance for the Stampede 2024. So that's great. Even that we had the water break, right? We also had that going on. So pretty good. All right, what else we have here? All right, so we fairly quickly, I want to go just over, the shooting would happen with Donald Trump, the candidate, right, in Pennsylvania. That was a big thing that happened a couple of weeks ago, and for the most part, that's already quiet down, right? Although there are some hearings, some things that they're investigating, what happened there exactly, and that is an ongoing situation. There was a casualty, right? Corey Comparatori was killed by the gunman's bullets, and two or three other people were injured. Now, the shooter was identified as a 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he lived about 80 kilometers from the scene, so not far away. He went onto the roof and he got a couple of shots there before Secret Service could reach out to him, and also he was killed when found. Then we are going to move on here a little bit further, and then of course here's the picture, iconic now, that came up, with Trump raising his fist in defiance of the attack, and then Secret Service trying to get him out of the stage, right, to put him in a safe place. Then we had a week after, we had President Joe Biden standing down from the candidate for the Democratic Party. He had to step down as there was a lot of pressure from inside and outside his party to step down, because his chances were not looking good against Donald Trump. So now that he's stepped down, he ceded the post to his vice president, which personally I think for the most part has been absent from the limelight. But now that she's taking the post here, I believe that will make things maybe a bit different for this election happening in November, right? And then yeah, so that was something that happened. So now Kamala Harris has been pretty much having a strong showing since she stepped up, and now they're gonna have their Democratic convention in a couple of weeks, but for the most part is going to be pretty much confirmed that she will be the candidate for the Democratic Party, which will face Donald Trump in November. So that's also what happened, and we'll see how that will turn out. Now, uh, going along with the rest here. Now, the Jasper wildfire. Now, I meant to have some kind of map, like a tip, right, to show in the map here. Sorry, but if you can see, you see Edmonton on the north, Calgary at the bottom, right, and if you see there, if you go to the west, toward the mountains, toward BC, you're going to see that. Let's see here. Where's my finger? There we go. You're going to see that Jasper is just right there, below Hinton, and so in Jasper there has been some wildfires, right? That we've had, and now that's been something that has been pretty serious. There's been a lot of news. A lot of people have gone and volunteered to evacuate, the residents. And as you can see here in the next pictures, it was quite dire, right? These fires came up pretty quick here on the town of Jasper, and it affected a lot of their infrastructure. As you can see here, people leaving the town, right, to get to somewhere safe, and the fire eventually reached the town here. So now a variety of factors helped for this to happen. So pretty much it was that it was the heat that had been happening in the last couple of weeks hit the area pretty hard, so it was prone to light up. Then there was some lightning that ignited the fire, and finally the winds that reached past the 100 km/h mark spread the fire even further, even faster. So that also did not help. These fires, right, that reached the town, and then did some serious damage. Right here we got the firefighters that came along to control the fires, but pretty much it was overrun. It is said that about 25,000 people were evacuated for the firefighters to control the wildfires that reached the town. I destroyed approximately 30% of the town's structures, right? So fairly serious damage. And about 1,300 people had to come to Calgary at the Shoal Days Arena reception center in the northwest, for them to be accommodated there in the meantime. So I'm sure that a lot of people also reach Edmonton and other cities because they need to leave the area. Volunteers and fire crews that were brought in along with a mitigation strategy in place help control the fire efficiently and avoid major tragedies. It is said that the city of Jasper were very prepared, and that also helped for this issue to not have, instead of having 70% damage, it had 70% that was saved. So that was a big thing that happened, and that they were talking about. The Jasper Fire Chief Matthew Conti lost his own home while on patrol, as well as 8 members of the Jasper Fire Department's 29 members. They lost their home. So that's unfortunate. As you can see, was something that affected the town directly, and it's going to take some time to recover. Also, as of yesterday, so Monday, the Jasper wildfire was still burning, and it is estimated to be more than 30 kilometers of hectares in size. So it's spread out through a large area of the Jasper wildlife, right? And it is still making some damage. Also, the Alberta wildfire stated that there are 124 wildfires at the moment, of which 25 are out of control. Right, and there are also 6 important wildfires in BC near Slocan Lake. Now, the evacuated residents do not have a date of return to their town yet, as the area is not yet secure, including downward power lines and also leaking toxic gases that they need to be fixed before residents can return to the area. So a fairly major emergency up in Jasper. All right, so moving along here, you can see the damage here that happened, right? The damage, this is a restaurant that was pretty much wiped out, right, by the fire. Fairly major damage. This is one of the local churches or parishes that also burned down, and it was pretty much gutted. Now, a lot of these pictures we got them from the Calgary Herald, so thank you for the content. And then also, like you see here, this person is one of the people who were evacuated, right? This is in Calgary, right? They had to come, and this person is disabled and had to come with his dog, and then and they're staying there for the time being. Also, if you need to reach out to help out, you can also look online, right? I know that the Humane Society, the Calgary Food Bank are are taking donations, right? Perishable, non-perishable items. Also, there are some bottle depots that have set up for you to donate your bottle depot money to the cause, right? To these to the people who are in need of some help, right? And that's also something that you can look into if you can. Now, going to the next here is going to be a fairly fast video here, although we're already in the 15-minute mark. So right now, Regina in Saskatoon, a columnist, now this is something I wanted to touch on, said Murray Mandrick wrote an article raising up the issue of climate change and lack of acknowledgement by Alberta politicians, including Daniel Smith. So pretty much what he stated was that even though climate change is something that affects a lot of countries, it's not something that can be just located to one country specifically, right? This is something that happens in the world, right? There's still a chance to acknowledge, right, that this is due to the man-made devastation on the climate, right, and to acknowledge that, so things so we can do something about it. So that is his point of view, right? I just shared here a little excerpt of the article. It says the solution here are neither easy nor clear, but when a climate change created disaster knocks on the door of a politician, shouldn't its presence at least be acknowledged? If any good can come from this strategy, shouldn't it be our leaders finally sending a clear message to deniers, conspiracists, cynics, and self-interested that we are facing a changing world and they're simply wrong, right? So this is just a way for this writer to just to make aware that in the grand scheme of things, right, we have to know why these things happen, right? Are they happening at a faster pace than before, right? The heat, the temperatures are higher than they were last year and the year before. So that is something also to take into account for strategy and to see how it can be helped in the future. So wanted to share that with you. All right, so now we're gonna go into the Venezuelan election. Now, just gonna take a moment here to have a sip of my water, and also to let you know that of course, to remind you to let's see, yes, like, share, and let's see, where is this? There we go. Like, share, subscribe, and comment here, so you can help out the channel. Also, like I said, you have the QR code there in the corner where you can help me with a cup of coffee, and that will make things much smoother for the channel. All right. All right. So, just carrying along here. Let's see here. So yes. So the Venezuelan election, right now. I share this picture here because this is a bit of an older picture, but you can see here that this is something that's been happening for a lot of years, right? Um, and some young people were not even born, when this started. So basically, is that a large majority of the Venezuelan people want some kind of change in their country, as they are not pleased, or are not, basically they're rejecting the government that they've had for the last few terms. Now, what I wrote here is on my notes here is that a large sector of the Venezuelan people were hoping that to end the 25 years of single party rule in the country since Hugo Chavez took power in 1999. So it's been 25 years since this single party has taken over the country, and it's been something that's made about 7 million Venezuelans to leave the country, and for the situation there not being good at all. So now, now the elections were on Sunday, right? The Sunday, Sunday the 28th, and so what happened is that it was reported that very suspicious things happened during the election, right? So here I can just continue with my points here. So it said that there is tension as claims of fraud in not disclosing clear electoral results and information after Venezuelans went to the polls to vote last Sunday. So the results were not released, and they haven't been released yet, as far as I know, in detail completely. Right now, also sadly, after the results in the last few hours, there were 12 reported deaths. I think it's 13 now, caused by the repression of protests and the streets, and hundreds of people detained, right? So there have been 13 casualties at least because of the protest, because the people are not accepting these results, right? And that is something that is happening right now. Now here there's a picture of Corina Machado, which is the leader of the opposition. She couldn't run for president because she was banned by the Maduro government, and so the gentleman on the left had to take over the candidacy. Edmundo Gonzalez, who is a past diplomat, retired diplomat of the country. Now, that's what happened, right? So even if it wasn't her, apparently the people were going to, or did support Edmundo Gonzalez. And what happened is that, as far as they knew, the results, the partial results that came from most of the polls, about half at least, said that Gonzalez was winning the election by about half, at least double the votes. Sorry, double the votes, right? So it was deemed that that he was going to win, that the opposition was going to win, but that is not what we got afterward, as it was announced before all the votes were in, that it was announced. It's going to remove this so we can see it a little bit more clear here. There we go. So it was announced that Maduro had won with 51% of the votes, and Edmundo Gonzalez had 44% only. So this caused us, a surprise, a suspicion by the population, because being that the polls were saying that Gonzalez was higher, was had double the points, how come now that he's being beaten, barely by Maduro? So that's something that is in contention. That's why people are protesting. There's a lot of turmoil, uprising in the streets, and it's getting out of hand pretty much right now. Like I said, before the official results were announced, many polling stations gave that the opposition candidate Mundo Gonzalez had won by more than double the votes. It was then thought that the opposition will win by a landslide, right? It was announced before, like I said, before 20% of the vote remained, that incumbent Nicolas Maduro had won with 51%, beating a retired diplomat Gonzalez with 44% of the votes. Now, before this, Maduro had denounced that foreign enemies had tried to tamper with the results, right? But he gave no evidence to back his claim. So it seems that he was just preparing the field to say, maybe the early results were not accurate, and that they had the right results, the right information, and what actually was the truth was that they were winning the election. So it looks to be that, but that is something that is being said now. Now many governments around the world, including Canada, right, release statements not recognizing the election and results in Venezuela, including Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, from Canada. So she stated that Canada has a serious concerns about the results, and and she pretty much sided with the Venezuelans that are standing up to an authoritarian regime. Now, this is basically the same that was released from the States, from Blinken, right? Which is the person in charge of foreign affairs. So it's been quite a an uproar, right, from other countries, rejecting, denouncing, showing concern about the results in Venezuela. That's pretty much saying that it wasn't a clear, a fair election, right? Now, also, Global Affairs Canada, which manages Canada's diplomatic and consular relations, among other tasks, it stated that Venezuela authorities respect the will of the people and to release detailed election results. So this was caused a lot of suspicion because a lot of this information was not released, and it has not been released yet. Now, the people of Venezuela are saying, once we have all this information on the table, then that is when we can start to accept these results. But until then, it is pretty much all up in the air. And until then, there's going to be some demonstrations, some protests, right? In the cities of Venezuela, and also, elsewhere outside of Venezuela, because, like I said, there's about 7 million people who left Venezuela, and now they are living in other countries, right, including Canada. And of course, they're not happy about it, and they want this to pretty much, just get resolved, right? Now we'll see what happens. The news are just in development right now. Whether the results are released, whether there is some kind of understanding between the opposition and Maduro, right? I'm not sure if there has been, some kind of meeting, some kind of a statement about that. So we're gonna see that in the next few hours or days as the election unfolds. So that's what we had for today. So we're up going to reach the half-hour mark here. So we're not gonna be at the 40-minute mark that we've been usually having, 46 minutes. So it's going to be a little bit of a change. Now, for next time, things are going to change a little bit, right? What's going to happen is that we're going to have maybe not live feeds, but we're going to have just videos that are going to be uploaded, which will be a bit more dynamic, right? Although I think today went pretty well, there were no technical issues and so forth, right? Wanted to let you know about that. So this is also a picture of some of the protests, right, that are happening, right? The people are not happy with the results, with how it was handled, right? There was a lot of people. Usually in election, there's some people who are being led into the country to oversee the process, right? But in this occasion, these entities, these organizations, they were not allowed to oversee the process, and that is something that raised questions, raised suspicion, and of course now it unfolds. And this is Nicolas Maduro here accepting another term of 6 years to stay as the leader of the country. And of course, this is something that is being contested at the moment. Now I wanted to just let you know about our next episode. Most likely will be in next week. So thank you very much for watching this. Also, if you have some questions, some comments, please feel free to leave them after this video airs, and we're going to go with that. Also, if you have some suggestions for topics to touch on, well, feel free to share them. All right. So just a reminder before I leave here, here you have just the reminder for you to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And so we'll see you next time in another episode of This and That. So thank you very much. My name is Cesar Saavedra, and until next time, bye bye.